How's it going, everyone? It's Juan Romero here from SwitchWatch, back with another review. It's Golf Story. I told you I'd bring it before the weekend, so here it is for you. Let's not waste any time on this one. Let's get straight into the Golf Story review. Golf Story is about a young kid learning to play golf with his father. His father teaches his son how to play the game at Well-Worn Grove. There is something about the geese on the greens which seemed to put people off trying to putt, but not this kid. He wasn't afraid of anything. But 20 years later, our protagonist wakes up and it's obvious he did not make the grade as a pro golfer. You wake up and decide today is a day you're going to go back and do everything you can to become a professional golfer. You go back to Well-Worn Grove. This is where you begin your journey. For me, it didn't matter whether golf was one of my favourite sports or not. What drew me in was wanting to see where this journey of me becoming a pro golfer would take me. The struggle from the beginning is something everyone can identify with, no matter the sport. The audio here fits the game really well. I really enjoyed listening to the backing tracks of the game, and the use of stringed and brass instruments is real quality. I love how the game changes when you're about to make a putt. The music feels like you have a load of pressure on your shoulders, so it fits really well. Just ambling around, and the music choices all feel just perfect for this game. Each new area having its own little theme song, and the ambience feels just right. The sound effects sound great, especially the happy sounding sound when you are successful in winning a challenge, or equally the dissatisfying sound when you fail. It's satisfying when you hit that golf ball and it sounds just right when you land in a bunker or in the rough. The only thing I really wish they had was voice acting, but I suspect this would have added huge costs to this project. Visually, I find the game to be really pretty, for lack of a better word. As I spoke about in my preview, I really like how attractive it all is, even though pixel art style is used here. Now, it's an indie game and the visuals are good at depicting the differences between the rough, fairways and greens, and the game is in all intents and purposes 16-bit. The different areas all look really nice and unique. The graphics, of course, are pixelated, and you either love this style or you don't. I grew up playing many games in this style, so for me, I very much enjoy the retro look. The game looks both great in handheld and in docked mode. For some though, they will see it as blurry, and if you're into the latest graphics, then of course this isn't going to suit your taste. Moving on to that important gameplay. First of all, let's talk about the modes. There is a quick play option here, which is important to mention because it means you can play 9-hole matches with a friend as a pure golf game. You get to choose the course dependent on if you have unlocked it in story mode. If you like, you can even play a quick play on your own and see how well you do with your scores. Fantastic then that you have the option to do this. The main bulk of the game, however, will be spent no doubt in story mode. At least at first, the gameplay is quite unique as you get to play a mashup of two genres in story mode all in one, which at first you would think don't go all that well together. It's kind of like having pizza with pineapple. It just shouldn't work, but it does, and it tastes fantastic at that. You actually have a very competent golf game, and we'll start on this. If you've played golf games in the past, then you'll have come across a variety of control methods and types. Here the game opts for simplicity, and all for the better. To take a shot in this game, you'll have to stop a moving cursor, and you'll have to stop that cursor as close to the mark to get maximum power on the left of the bar. As the cursor moves back, you then have to stop it again on a mark on the right. And this is how true you will hit the shot. Too far left or right, and you'll end up either slicing or hooking the shot. First of all, you choose the club you want to take your shot with, and the game will show you how far you'll be able to hit the ball with the club you choose. You have your woods, irons, sand wedges and putters here. Then you will set up the direction of the shot, and once you're happy, you press the button to activate the shot bar. Once the shot bar is activated, there are a number of things you can do. You can change the spin on the ball, for example, and when it lands, you can have some control of where the ball goes, especially on the greens. This is useful. You can use the triggers on the Switch to activate precision mode, where you'll be able to, if good enough, hit the ball more precisely, but it requires better timing on your part. There are all sorts of parts to this game that you learn further down the line. from hitting the ball flat to hitting the ball higher in the air. High, and the disadvantage is the wind will affect the ball a lot more than if you hit it flat. You even learn the potato shot, but I'll leave that to you to find out what that one is. You can also shorten shots by holding the trigger buttons down, and you'll see the shot length shortening. If you get the shot just right, you'll hit a powerful and accurate shot if needed, but this will end up going further than you anticipated, and it's best used for fairway drives only. When you are stuck in a bunker and all manner of other hazards, then the shots become more difficult because the cursor moves quicker, making it harder for you to time. All in all, there is a very good golfing game here which has depth to it, which was not expected at first. You can play a normal round of golf or take part in all kinds of cool little challenges like hitting fish or trying to hit the golf ball at certain targets. One challenge where you actually have to just hit bunkers on the way to the green was difficult, but great fun as well. You have another where you have to bounce balls off turtles to hit the green, and another hitting colour balls to birds. My favourite though was killing the undead. Now, it's not the best golf game I've ever played in my life, but it more than makes up for it because of the variety of things you can do, and all the challenges are just so fun. Pushing you along is a story where you're trying to become a pro golfer. As you begin, you will be a low-level character, just like in any good RPG game. One of your first quests has you going on a mission to impress the coach in order for him to train you, and you'll need to explore this first area and figure out how to make money. At first, it will be from challenging the snobby students on the grounds to taking part in frisbee throwing. That's right, frisbee throwing is not just a golf game, by the way. Hit a golf ball on a tiny green, or pull a shot where you have to bounce the ball on a path and then onto the green. With each challenge you win, the more money you make and further you level up your character. Each of the challenges is a quest, if you like. You can then put the points you gain to level up stats like power or accuracy. So I mentioned earlier impressing the coach. You will have ended up getting sidetracked with all the cool little things you can get up to. However, once you take part in your first 9-hole match and beat the course, you head back to the coach. The game follows this theme throughout. With each new area you explore, you'll have to complete a number of challenges, and once you complete them, you will then have to beat the golf course, which is 9 holes to move on to the next area. The game is quite linear in terms of moving the story along, but as I say, you can choose which side quests you want to do in the meantime, or explore in any given area that you're in. I really like the fact that you can just tee up, or you can do any of the holes and hit a few balls if you want to. I think the freedom to do that is just plain brilliant. I enjoy the fact that there are some little mini games as well, like throwing the frisbees or throwing golf balls with your hands to hit targets. You can also just whip out a golf ball and chuck them at people. There are a couple of negatives, and maybe it's just me, but a little tip without spoiling it: you will need to equip certain equipment at certain times in this game to move the story along in certain quests in good RPG style. However, it's not always obvious that you can equip certain equipment when away from the golf course, and the little tutorial would not have gone amiss here. The turtle quest, for example, when looking for the idol, I got stuck for more than an hour. A good friend of ours figured it out, but also took him a while. Parts like that could have been made a little clearer, as it can lead you to running around and not having a clue what to do. That will leave some a little frustrated. As you go, the challenges become tougher and the matches you play become more difficult. It's up to you to make your character as strong as possible in terms of your golfing skill to face these challenges and matches. Anyone who's played golf will know that it's the course that can have dire consequences on your game. On top of negotiating that little white ball to the green, you'll have moles moving your ball if you hit the ball in their area, bunkers and tar pools, as well as the rough, wind and other nasties later on in the game, which I won't spoil. Lucky then that you have a fair bit of practice by the time you get to have your first match. The role-playing side of things sees you chatting to NPCs and gathering information. As you start, you will need to make the coach see that you're good enough for him to spend time on you. You have a dodgy swing and he's not sure he can make you into a pro. It's up to you to prove him wrong. There will be people along the way that send you on quests. Some will be essential to complete and to move the story forward, and others will be side quests where you can pick up some extra coin to buy better equipment. This equipment will make you better in the long run, and again, this is not the best RPG you will ever play, but everything works well and it's a very enjoyable experience. The controls all work supremely well and they're tight, both in docked mode and handheld. I honestly lost hours in handheld just lying up in bed playing this one. The only negatives here is not everyone is going to take to it if they're not into golf. The story is quite heavily focused on that side of things. Also, if you're expecting this game to be the best golf game or best RPG, then you may be slightly disappointed. You have to go into this with an open mind, and if you do, I'm sure it's going to completely surprise you. Another thing I found was when I failed a challenge and you want to retry, then you have to read through the whole part of the writing again. This gets a little tiresome, especially as you will fail some challenges multiple times. Look, it's not a deal breaker, but I thought I would mention it. You can press B to make it quicker, but a skip button would have been nice. In terms of value, there's no doubt of the value to be had in this game. There's plenty to do to keep you occupied, lots of challenges and plenty of matches to win. The game will keep you entertained for a solid 15 to 20 hours, and for the price of £13.49 or $14.99, you cannot ask for too much more, especially at this price point. After that, you have the ability to play the courses either on your own or against a friend in the quick play mode. So on to my verdict. This was a complete surprise. The beauty of this game is how it has managed to take two perfectly standalone genres, mix them together with such aplomb, such a harmonious coming together that really makes this game a delight to play and one which is ultimately fun. A game you're not going to put down until the credits roll. It really is something unique and special. I'm not a golfing fan other than watching Sergio Garcia win his first major, but I am an RPG fan and I like taking part in lots of fun challenges, which is not all purely golf orientated. There's loads of enjoyment to be had if you just give it a chance. If you do, it will seduce you with its charm. I could not put it down, and the variety in this game is outstanding. You would not have thought you could do so many things with golf, but it's fantastically imaginative. It beggars the question if it's worth making another sports story like football story, tennis story perhaps. Sidebar, maybe you could look into that. This for me then is yet another great indie title to add to an already impressive collection. A game that's very special. 9 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, guys, then hit that thumbs up button. It really means a lot to me. If you're a new watcher here, consider subscribing to our channel. We've got plenty of reviews like this. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this game or any other Nintendo Switch game. My name is Juan Romero. You know what I'm going to say, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Fast isn't always the best. Sometimes your turns makes me dizzy, but with you